Hello everybody, I'm Marsha Yates, your facilitator, and welcome to the Heroic Journey. Who are the heroes? We are, if we choose to become conscious of our amazing life journey in our work together. The hero often sacrifices their own needs for others. Heroes can be found performing many tasks. They are humans who perform physical deeds, courageous acts in battle, or even spiritual deeds. The hero learns to experience a supernatural aspect of life and comes back with a message. There are two types of hero, those who intend to take the journey and those who do not. This series of art experiences is based on Joseph Campbell's study of myth, which he wrote about in his well-known book, The Power of Myth. Let me show it to you. The definition of a hero, which I just read to you, comes from his book. Joe was a really down-to-earth, fun kind of guy with a great sense of humor who spent his life studying the myths of all cultures throughout the centuries. And he wrote extensively about the stages of heroism, which I'm going to talk to you about today. A lot of this information comes from this book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. His contributions to our way of seeing the world have affected everyone, although many of us are not aware of it. How did he do this? He and George Lucas, creator of the Star Wars sagas, had some conversations. One of them is recorded in this video, The Power of Myth. Star Wars was not just a movie. It is a very powerful modern myth. As we have watched chapters of these sagas unfold in the cinema, many of us have become subconsciously aware of the stages of heroism as we watched Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Rey Skywalker, and many others face their struggles against evil and bureaucracy. Their sagas have inspired many of us in different spiritual ways under the general themes of positive and negative energy. There are other collections of heroic stories, many in the Bible and other holy books, and many ethnic myths to study from all cultures. A few of them are cataloged in a most excellent book by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, Women Who Run with the Wolves. Here's her book. The stages of heroism are a way of viewing the struggles of life, a framework for figuring out where we are and where we need to go. Whether you are a student in high school completing these exercises for art credit, a graduating senior about to embark on your independence, taking responsibility for your own choices, or an adult facing an unexpected struggle life has presented you with, the stages of heroism have something to offer you. I'd like to invite you to explore how the stages of heroism can give you a new and positive way to view your life, or someone else's, using drawing and painting. You will discover through our inspiring journey together that artists, poets, and writers throughout time have left recordings or symbols documenting their experience on this very same journey, the journey of life. Your personal saga is related to many, many other people's stories and their struggles, some that happened centuries ago and others happening now. We are all walking the same path of life, regardless of how epic or private each, and they flow back and forth into each other. Thinking of them as stages helps us understand life's journey using this framework and can give us support and guidance. The stages are departure, including common world, call to adventure, refusal of call, supernatural aid, and crossing the first threshold. The next segment is entitled Initiation, and it includes the Road of Trials, Supreme Ordeal, the Ultimate Boon. And the last section is entitled Return. Included are Refusal of Return, Crossing the Threshold, and Master of Two Worlds. This handout shows the journey as a circle, and there are many parts to this handout that you can look at and gain a little insight with. This is the part of the journey that's unknown as you take the journey, and this is the part that is known. In his many writings, interviews, and books, Joe explained and emphasized a few other concepts that are helpful to be aware of, and I've included an introduction to them on handout number 3. If you find it helpful, and handout number 3 looks like this. If you find them helpful, it can be a starting point for some personal research for you, or just a point to be aware of on the map of your journey. Joe said, "What we think about transforms our consciousness." What do you think about? What thoughts do you repeat in your mind during the day through self-talk and music? Are they positive or negative? How does that affect the quality of your day and your mood? The stages of heroism, which we just looked at on this handout, showing it as a process, are listed on this handout. It's tough to get these things straight. We'll come back to this in a more detailed way, because I know everyone wants to get into making art, so we'll stop here and work on a theme. I'd like you to consider the meaning of home to you. How do you define it? How does home feel? What do you want it to feel like? As you think about home, what images, pictures, or symbols come to mind to represent your experiences, feelings, and thoughts? You might choose to represent your caretakers or your parents, other family, a pet, or your lifestyle. Think about 3 important experiences that have made you who you are today. What do they have in common? Have you grown up with a sense of security? What are your experiences with security? Is it even important? Can you think of a good symbol for security? What do home and security have in common? Are they related ideas? Do you have a motto or a truth that you live by? What is truth? Choose from some of these questions to come up with images and make a picture. Use colors to represent what has come to mind. To assist you, refer to handout number 6, the themes worksheet, for a more detailed explanation of how to come up with symbols to represent your ideas, if nothing has already come to mind. Meanwhile, we'll take a little review of this worksheet and how to use it. Here's the worksheet. At the top, right here, there's a couple of examples that we're going to take a look at, and this should help out with ideas. So let's say that love was the theme we were working on, but we didn't have any ideas about how to represent love. If we took a minute to think about common symbols people use to represent love, we might think of hearts, roses, holding hands, or rings. Using these symbols or something that is more personal, you could represent love. Here's our second example, comfort. Some common images for comfort are teddy bears, blankets, sympathy cards, and food. Food's a big one. Now, if you were going to represent comfort, which of these would you enjoy making art about? Or would you choose something else that we haven't begun to consider yet? This is how you use the worksheet and how you approach the questions and themes to make symbols each week. Now we'll take some time to work on art, and then we'll have some processing time together, where we take some time to see what everyone's come up with and process anything that the group wants to talk about.